Hi, I'm Michael P. Coleman, Content Director for Brother Be Well. Thanking you for checking out this Parents and Caregiver series brought to you by Blue Shield of California's Blue Sky Initiative.
Talk to me about after treating yourself after a success, or rather, what about treating yourself after that success? Is that a good plan, or do you need to be aware so that you don't fall into danger there? What I'm thinking at, what I was trying to get at with this question was, early in my life, I used food as a reward, and I
Mm.
learned that I was kind of sabotaging my own health if at every success, there's a cookie or a calorie-rich dessert or something that's not terribly healthy for me, then I started sabotaging my own physical health as I thought I was giving myself a mental health reward. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yes, so treating yourself is definitely a form of celebration, but I do think there needs to be self-reflection on is it actually deserved? Which is where I say like this is a difficult topic because we want to celebrate, but we also want to take it into consideration because yes, it can be a slippery slope if your celebrations are now greatly outweighing your accomplishments or are being used to justify negative behaviors. So, people who use every single little accomplishment, for instance, as an excuse to not be responsible. So, an example I like to use is I went to work today. So, I deserve to treat myself to gambling with the money that I earned because that's what I enjoy. But as your therapist, if I know that your gambling addiction is causing a much greater impact on your quality of life, we'll want to do some reframing on what is actually needed and what can be an appropriate celebration or moderation of that.
I so wish you had been my therapist years ago. I used to be in sales, and I caught myself, Mirela, I was in advertising sales.
Mm.
Every time I closed a sale, I went and bought something. Like I realized I had to spend money, and then when I realized I wasn't making that much of a commission, so I'm like my checkbook was actually, the balance was lower because I was rewarding myself every single time. So that's when I started, and we're going to talk about goal setting a little bit. That's when I started saying, how about a monthly goal? If I meet that monthly target, then I can treat myself to something. But it's not, every time somebody signs a contract, I'm kind of sabotaging myself in a way.
Exactly. Sabotaging the self. That's a really good way to put
Yeah, yeah. We talked about goals a little bit, so I want to ask you about it. One of the strategies, again, that's worked for me is setting small, achievable goals. If I'm thinking about health and fitness, when I started riding my bike, I didn't say, I got to do a 25-mile bike ride every day. I said, can I do 5 miles? Can I? Then it was 6, then it was 7. Now I'm up to almost 10. So, what can you say about, as from the perspective of a mental health clinician, what does setting small, achievable goals and then celebrating those successes as you ramp things up, what's that do for you?
Yeah, so short-term goals, right? People talk about them all the time, and they're important in terms of the long run to getting that bigger goal because they give you something to look forward to in the interim. So if you're saying, I've been doing this amount of work for whatever number of time, but my main goal is so far off, and that's it, you don't celebrate in their short-term goals, you're going to feel like you are grinding forever and that you're not actually getting any closer to your dream and you're causing yourself more stress by doing that. Being able to have those short-term goals, those small accomplishments and celebrations are what can re-motivate you to keep moving forward in a way that keeps all other parts of yourself healthy. So um, mental, physical, spiritual, emotional. You really, really need those because if not, you're going to burn out. And you're going to feel like even if you do get to that goal, while the reward is really great,
Yeah.
you're going to feel a lot better had you given yourself those small moments of reprieve on the way to get there.
And it's even the way you talk about it, Mirella, I never really thought about celebrating successes as self-care. And we've talked
Mhm.
about self-care a lot on this platform. It's really a great way to take care of yourself and to pause and wow, I did that. Whatever that is, I accomplished it. I feel good. I'm smiling as I'm thinking about my next one. My next one will be completing this video. When we're done, wow, we can say we actually had that conversation and we brought some information out. You can celebrate that and then move on and take advantage of the mental health benefits of success, of celebrating successes.
Mhm. Yes.
Tell me as we get ready to wrap up, how do we best celebrate mental health successes, small and otherwise? We've talked about a few of them along the way, but I want to just kind of give you the floor. How do we best do that?
I would say start now on practicing kindness for yourself. You know, really looking into the way and how to congratulate yourself for even the smallest of tasks. When we're feeling good, it's easy to make those toaster waffles or to throw our clothes in the hamper, to take a shower. It's easy, right? It's part of our routine. There's nothing different about it. But when we're in a slump, we find that those everyday activities that were just part of our routine, they start falling to the wayside. So if you can even muster the energy to do those small tasks in the thick of it, being kind to yourself and acknowledging those accomplishments can create moments of reprieve in this otherwise difficult situation. And so, in order to make that easier for when you are, kind of feeling like you're underwater, you have to start now for practicing kindness for yourself. And it's exactly what Michael was saying earlier, right? Like, we're going to finish this and we're going to be happy, like, yes, it's over with, we did it. Excitement. Or, the opposite of that is I could just choose to be like, all right, well, I have a meeting right after this. I have to go right into it. No, give yourself a break. Start practicing that now so it's easier when you're feeling low.
That's such a great suggestion, showing that, giving yourself that grace right away.
Mhm.
I want to, before I let you go, can I kind of throw out a couple of things that I kind of read about and just get your take on it?
Love that. Yes.
Just little things that you could do. I was kind of focused on this, that things that wouldn't take a lot of time. You achieve something, you're great. We all have family networks, people who support us. How about just sending a quick little text to someone? Oh my God, I don't know, I lost 2 pounds this week, or wow, my boss just complimented me on the work that I did. How you think even something that tiny, just a quick little text, will give you what you need?
I think it can, yeah, if you trust your support system to acknowledge that with you. And I think that's a much longer discussion because you really do want to surround yourself with people who support your journey. But yeah, absolutely, I do that. And of course, I try to be humble about it by starting the text with, "Okay, I'm not trying to have a big head, but I do have a big head. I just got to tell you about this thing that happened." And I am very blessed to have friends who would be like, "Yeah, go Mireya."
Yeah.
And it is just seeing that little acknowledgement, even if they only just react with the heart, that's enough for me to celebrate sometimes.
Yeah. It's so it's such and the support network that you just talked about. We're going to do a whole video on building a personal support network. Maybe you can be a part of that. You said it's a deeper conversation.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah, I can't wait to start getting into that. Just a couple of others. Let me just take a look. We talked about pampering ourselves, buying a
Mhm.
gift, but again, not breaking the bank on the gift. One of the ones that has helped for me, and I just want to touch base on this, is celebrating the success by acknowledging someone else's role in it. So if we have a really fantastic production, there's a whole team of people that make these videos happen. I will either text our project director, my boss, or I'll text our engineer. I'll say, "Oh my God, that was great. Thank you for the role that you played in that." And I'm kind of surprised over the years that giving someone else a little kudos, it makes me feel good. I bet that dopamine, a little bit of dopamine is kicking in. Is there a foundation for that in the work that you do, or Am I making that up in my own head?
No, if I had to, hearing your question right now, my first thought is the reason it feels that way is one, when doing part of the reflection process, which is as you congratulate these other people, right? You're going through, okay, who helped me with this situation or event? You are subconsciously acknowledging that, like, you do have a good infrastructure around you to succeed. And while it does feel really good when you do things on your own, to know that you have support and backup is just as fulfilling as if you did it on your own, because you know that you have these individuals that have your back and also in their own way can acknowledge what you have done in this situation. So it's kind of like a feedback loop a little bit
Wow, wow.
if I'm thinking about that. So I can totally understand why, as you congratulate other people, it feels good because you're like, yeah, I have these individuals who really had my back when I needed them, because it would have been a lot harder had I done it on my own.
The before I let you go, the example I'm thinking of is my mother, who I'm blessed she's still with us. My mom saw inadvertently some pictures of my yard. Just I
Mhm.
was showing her something else, but she saw some of the garden, and she said to me on the phone, Michael, that is a beautiful garden. And instantly I said, Mom, you taught me how to do it. There would be nothing there alive. You taught me how to take care of plants and do all that. And we had this moment where I was like, I can't take credit for that. You helped me do that. And then in terms of treating, instead of treating myself, I sent her a plant. I had something sent to her that looked like something in my garden. So it wasn't even buying something for myself. It was doing something for someone else. But I felt really good in acknowledging someone else's role in what was perceived as my own accomplishment.
Yeah, and there's care there. I feel and hear warmth and care in that sentence because she has in some way taught you this thing that you brought into your life as you grew older. And she probably didn't think that that was something that even was going to resonate with you later on. And so there is this caring and rapport there. And then even sending the plant right back to her, I'm sure it's like, hey, I want to continue this and just really acknowledge that this was so important to me.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. I love that.
She absolutely did not think that it was going to resonate. At the time, it was called chores. I didn't even see it as something positive. She was like, get out there and plant this and do that and whatever. But you're right. I kind of retained it. And then when I bought my place, there was nowhere to plant anything. And I said, I got to warm this space up a little bit. And all those lessons came back to me about what to do. So you're absolutely right. I hope my mom watches this. She will acknowledge that it was at the time, it was chores. It was chores. It wasn't getting successes. Miranda Giddings, this has been another phenomenal conversation. Really appreciate it. You are an associate marriage and family therapist with HearU.org. You're one of my favorite people to talk to, and I'm sure we're going to do it again if you're willing. I hope so.
Absolutely. I love being here and getting to meet with the Brother Be Well community always.
Thanks so much. You have a great rest of your day, and we'll talk to you soon.
You as well. Okay.
Thanks. And I want to thank somebody else as we're getting ready to wrap this puppy up. Our sponsor, Blue Shield of California's Blue Sky Initiative. We're thankful to them and all the work that they do. That Blue Sky Initiative boosts access to mental health support. You can learn all about that fantastic program at this website, bluesky.blueshieldca.com. For our audio podcast listeners, I'll say it again, bluesky.blueshieldca.com. Another website I'll quickly give you would be our own brotherbewell.com. You can find out all kinds of information related to your own mental health journey, videos just like this one, audio podcasts, print pieces, links to resources. It's all right there for boys and men of color. And those boys and men of color are 12 and up. They're African American, they're Latinx, they're Asian and Pacific Islander, they're Native and Indigenous, and they are the LGBTQIA plus community members, myself included, that support and enhance those communities. So you can find all that information at brotherbewell.com. My name again, Michael P. Coleman, Content Director for Brother Be Well. It's been great to be with you again. We don't take it for granted. I dislike the term goodbye, and so I'm not going to say it. I'm going to say it until next time. Do something for me. Take great care of yourself, and then take great care of somebody else. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.